Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. So this will be the second video today, and we are going to break down the new trailer for Terminator Dark Fate. Now, this film is actually chronologically, it will be the third film in the franchise following T2 because they are ignoring Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, and Terminator Genesis. So this it will literally be Terminator, Terminator 2, then Terminator Dark Fate, and then nothing else. They're going to start a whole new timeline or do whatever with it. So uh, the trailer kind of starts off where we get introduced to one of the newer characters, a young girl, along with her protector or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell from the trailer exactly what's going on because you're not sure exactly how long this has been since Terminator 2. Um, but this seems to be somewhat a decent amount in the future, just based on how much Linda Hamilton has aged, which she does return for this movie, playing Sarah Connor again. Um, but the early parts kind of just the early parts of the trailer just kind of they showcase the action. There's a car chase where there appears to be a Terminator who's some strange like combination of like a T-1000, like the metal, like the liquid metal Terminator from Terminator 2, and the regular Terminator. Again, it's really weird, but he they have this kind of action set piece that ends with him separating his like liquid metal from his body and forming like a separate Terminator body. And again, it's kind of weird. There's not much that's explained, which is good for a trailer. I do like that. I don't like everything explained, but there are a lot of questions that get raised by it. And of course, this chase sequence ends after basically what I would assume it would be the uh, Terminator, female Terminator, and the the girl she's protecting, are basically backed into a corner, and Linda Hamilton just shows up with an automatic shotgun and lays waste to the thing, and then blows it up with a bazooka. Um, this it definitely feels that like there's an 80s tinge there, and she is still just as much of a badass as she was in Terminator 2, which is great. Um, Although it is very visible how much she has aged in that amount of time. I believe she's closing in on 70 if she isn't over it already. Um, but going back to the trailer, that is really the main action set piece. That we see in the trailer, and then they kind of do some cuts after that. They basically they go through this thing where basically it looks like Linda Hamilton, the girl, and the lady Terminator are all going to see Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator that's out in the woods that's old now for some weird reason, even though he melted himself down at the end of Terminator 2. So again, there's a lot of questions. They show the major players in this, which is good. They gave a badass intro to Linda Hamilton, if that is how she's introduced in the film, which is fitting of her. And then we only get the little glimpse of Arnold, which is kind of all we needed of him. We don't want to see too much of him being the Terminator quite yet. Maybe save it for the last trailer, have a little action set piece or something. They also have a few other actiony things that show up in this. There's a scene where two planes are crashing into each other, and there's a tank on a parachute that's floating by as both of the planes crash. Again, very little context, but looks amazing. Um, but after the action, after you get through most of the action, you dissect a little bit of the trailer. It really doesn't give you a whole lot about the story. You know that it's a decent amount past Terminator 2 because of Linda Hamilton's age and the fact that she is still, she's Sarah Connor. Also, the age of Arnold as the Terminator, which again we don't know how he's gotten back because the other three films don't exist. So he melted himself down at the end of T2. So we don't know how he's involved in this. If it's another T unit that she modified or something like that, because the line that she says before that is she says, "I was you," referring to the girl that is being taken care of by the Terminator, the female Terminator. And that then leads into a shot of them going to a cabin and Arnold Schwarzenegger opening the door. So this is what a good trailer should do, and this is a credit to whoever cut this trailer. Is it really does it asks you all the right questions. You want to know more. You really do want to know more. It doesn't lay the plot out for you on a silver platter. You don't know how this movie is going to go. You know a little bit here and there of what's going on, but aside from that, a lot is really left open, which is good. That's what you want. Now, a second trailer might fill it in a little bit more, give us some alternate footage, maybe a different action setup or something like that. But for the most part, I would expect it to probably be similar uh, in tone and length and probably the content of it as well. Maybe throw in one or two new little scenes here and there to kind of get people excited. So this movie is due to be released November 1st of this year, and like I said, this is James Cameron coming back to the franchise. The movie is directed by Tim Miller, who also directed the first Deadpool, but it was written and produced by Cameron. So he had a lot of his hands in this project, in not just leaving everything up to Tim Miller. So this is the first time Cameron's come back since doing T2. So this will essentially it will be his trilogy, even though he's not directing the third entry. But this could be interesting because if it sets things straight, if it cleans up the mess that was caused by Salvation and Genesis, more specifically Genesis, then it might be able to set the franchise back, and we can maybe move forward on this timeline. Whether or not that's the case is yet to be seen. Now, Cameron, again, this is his property. The first two he directed, so he's definitely familiar with the property. I mean, he helped create this entire thing. So it's essentially the master kind of coming back and finishing off his masterpiece. With all that said, however, the trailer, some of the stuff looked really cool. The Terminator himself, the not Arnold, but the Terminator they advertised in this, the mix between the T1000 and the Arnold Terminator, that the special effects for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's just the way they wanted the CGI to look or what, but it looks kind of grain. It looks kind of cheap in a few of those scenes. It looks kind of like bad CGI. Again, it's a trailer, so maybe that stuff isn't 100% rendered yet. So I could see that maybe looking better in the theatrical cut, which they have done before. So, but it did look a bit weird to me. It didn't. It looked like a bit screensavery, dare I say, but um, you know, aside from that, really nothing in the trailer I felt looked bad in any way. The action looked great, and that's a credit to Tim Miller and James Cameron. Um, the characters look okay. Again, they don't tell you too much other than the chick is a Terminator, the kid is some random kid, and then Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor again. So it says all they need. They don't show John Connor in this trailer though, which is interesting because again, at the end of T2, the Eddie Furlong version of John Connor is still a kid, and Judgment Day has not happened. Supposedly, they thought they staved it off. So I don't know if this is just the future and more Terminators are coming back, or if this is a different situation where Skynet's been operating underground or something. Because again, we don't really see like the dilapidated remains of humanity, so it doesn't appear that Judgment Day has actually happened, or if it has, it was thwarted somehow. So I don't know if this is like a remnants of Skynet, if this is another Terminator from the future. There's a lot that's left up in the air on this. But it would be interesting to see what happened to John Connor and if he is going to appear maybe in the next trailer. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that character has wound up now as well, because this seems to be, I don't know, it might be 30 years in the future, maybe more, from T2. So, and again, that's just the chronological timeline. I mean, I realize it's been almost 30 years in real time since T2, but uh, again, good trailer, got me a bit interested. I want to know more, and didn't give away too much of the story. So this one's a good watch, and again, I will link it in the comments below, or in the description of the video below. Remember, anything you want to say about this movie? Are you excited for it? Do you think it looks like a piece of garbage? Do you, are you indifferent? Are you just going to wait and see? What do you think about it? And again, this is just mostly based off the first trailer. Things can change. Um, hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?